video, we look at one of the very important tool that will help you in your pipeline creation, which is known as a syntax helper. So a Jenkins pipeline will have multiple tasks, multiple steps with its own syntax, the scripting that is required to let's say as you see here, to archive, to create a report, or to build a code. So depending on the plugin, depending on the technology that you have and the plugins that you have installed, the steps in your pipeline will vary, and the syntax of each of them will vary completely depending on your depending on your plugins and which one are you using. So how it's especially when you're new into Jenkins, it's not easy to remember the complete syntax and create pipelines. So that's where you have a pipeline syntax helper in Jenkins. So if I go into the pipeline syntax here, so again, depending on the plugins that you have, if you install new plugins, you'll see the script for them. Now, if you see, these are all the steps and tasks that for which you can get a pipeline script or the code. Example, in order to define, if I want to define a new step, a build step, and I give the name of my step and generate, you will see there is a step here defined. Now I can copy this and move into my pipeline. And let's say if I want to directly go here and archive a particular file, I'll give the name of the file, and then I'll say generate. You see the archive step. Now this is similar to what we see here, archive artifacts. So this is a very important tool for anybody new to come here and look at what is it that you need to do, and accordingly select your the step and give the details, the variables, the parameters that are required, and then generate a script which you can copy onto your pipelines. And this also is a good way, good place for you to learn Groovy language and understand the syntaxes around that, and it helps you to ensure the pipeline errors itself are ignored, are not received, and while you're learning the syntax, you also have a very good detailed documentation around each and every step. If I can go to steps reference and I can understand what I read about the documentation around how to define a step, what are the key things that I need to take care when creating a steps or stages in a pipeline, and similarly the complete documentation of everything around pipelines you will see here. You will find all these links in at the end of this section, which will help you to which will guide you to get into more and more details related to pipeline and the Groovy script.